sure that you've heard before that it is a crime to be poor. But if you were ever poor, then you know it more for sure. Anytime that the buck is passed, the poor man have to wait for last. It's a shame and disgrace the abuse the poor have to face, simply because the rich man don't care about the poor man. The middle class man don't care about the poor man, no. And the poor man can't afford to care about the poor man. Oh no, I say this land, I can't understand. Who cares about the poor man? The rich could afford to buy. Somehow or the other, the middle class would still get by. But life of the poor man upon his toes, and every door that's enough is closed. To whom or where could he turn? God in heaven knows. The straight case is the rich man don't care about the poor man. The middle class man don't care about the poor man. For the poor man can't afford to care about the poor man. Oh no, I say in this land, I can't understand. Who cares about the poor man? They always have some big time plans that more often than not slowly fades into oblivion. When their political dice is rolled, it's on the poor that they take its toll. As their power play goes on, they're using the poorest funds, simply because the rich man don't care about the poor man. Then politicians don't care about the poor man. And the poor man can't afford to care about the poor man. Oh no, in this land, I ask this question, who cares about the poor man? Terrible state indeed, and there are a whole lot of hearts that bleed. But through struggle and pain, the poor of this world must still proceed. To show that they're burdened and simply cope, most of the time just hope against hope. That someone would care so their dreams don't die in despair. Knowing full well the rich man don't care about the poor man. The middle class man don't care about the poor man. The poor man can't afford to care about the poor man. Oh, so I said in this land, I can't understand who cares about the poor man. The rich man don't care about the poor man. The middle class man don't care about the poor man. For the poor man can't afford to care about the poor man. No, I tell you so in this land, I can't understand who cares about the poor man. Don't care about the poor man. It's a crime to be poor. Don't care about the poor man. Well, you've heard that before. So in this land, oh no, I can't understand who cares about the poor man. Can understand who cares the poor man.
For a long time I wondering what's the cause. For the rich and poor they have different laws. They might act the same but friends it's absurd. For the rich and poor they have different words. If a poor man helps himself to relief, they waste no time to call him a thief. If a rich man falls to the same fate, them go simply say misappropriate. They go spread it out far and abroad how the poor man was caught practicing fraud. But when the rich man, when the money gone, and they'll call it diversion of funds. What they call the poor, they don't call the rich. Higher up you go, the language just switch. They quick to call the grassroots the lowest level. Like we are no character to defend. But once you have to deal with the bourgeoisie, just so they change vocabulary, I find it very out of place and fast. How come language just change with class? They too biased. You can't create powder if you're playing mass. How come language just changed with class? Take for instance, ladies of the night. If you're poor, it's how rich is socialite. Paris Hilton skin for the camera. That's not porn, she's a video star. But if a poor girl only expose she bought, they quick to condemn she as a slut. Lazy Lohan could do what she wants, she's a starlet and a debutant. The media go always portray as good anything to crawl out of Hollywood. The difference I'm telling you is cash if you're broken, you're a shred and trash. What they call the poor, they don't call the rich. They won't call Paris a slut or a, oh no. What about you and me, they will just expose. When come to the rich, well, they're afraid cut close. But once they have to deal with them sawati, well, them don't change vocabulary. Rich people smoke herb, poor people smoke grass. How come language just change with class? They so biased, they too biased. You can't read powder if you're playing mass. How come language just changed with class? Now take a look at America. Well, they get exposed in this disaster. When the upper classes were in control, what they gave the poor, it was called the dole. But now all of them big businesses crashed. The same government had to give them cash, and what they used to condemn as a handout, now given to them becomes a bailout. The nation that creates capitalists has become very socialist. They used to call it handout for lazy bums. Now all of them lining up for some what they call the poor, they don't call the rich. Higher up you go, the language does switch. You might find it cute, you might find it strange. Well, they're afraid no suit, so them rearrange. But once they have to deal with the higher ups, that is when things just get more corrupt. Like Dickens say the law is an ass. How come language just change with class? They so biased, they too biased. You can't bring powder if you're playing mass. How come language just changed with class? What was making fares you just ask the search? When the rich get caught becomes a massage. And a brothel, well excuse me sir, for the filthy rich it's a resort spa. What for you and me they will call a freak. If it's Michael Jackson, he's just unique. And he's not a child molester, it's just inappropriate behavior. A poor man beating his wife is a brute. With the rich it's a domestic dispute. While they treat the poor drunk like a scare. For the filthy rich they just need rehab. For the rich, higher up they go, the whole thing does switch. What the poor will do, they will just blossom. When the rich man do it, they does get soft. What the poor will do, and they will put down. When the rich man do it, things turn around. When the poor man do it, it low and crass. How come language just change with class? They too biased. You can't break water if you're playing mass. How come language just change with class?
How come language does change with class? Class language. A rich woman, according to the Calypsonian, skin for the camera, she's a diva. But if a poor girl walk with a shorts with she butt out, she's a slut. Class language. Class language. How come language does change with class? You all see why I love Calypso? And before that, we heard Gypsy. Who cares about the poor man? Not the rich, not the middle class. And the poor man can't afford to think about the poor man. All of us come from the poor man and the poor woman. Some of us escape a little bit earlier, but all of us come from there, and all of us have had the curse of being poor. I woke up this morning to my face plastered on the front page of the Guyana Times and the Chronicle, and today I see the Guyana Standard and all. Dr. David Hines refuses to condemn the scrapeheads. Dr. David Hines support the riots. Thank you, Chronicle. Thank you, Guyana Times. You all have done me a wonderful favor. Let the world know that in the year of our Lord 2025, in the last week of April, when the poor of Guyana plastered their faces on the canvas of Guyana's society, that some ran to the east and some ran to the west, all ran away from them. But David Hines stood with them. Thank you, Chronicle. Give me another headline tomorrow. Thank you, Guyana Times. Give me another headline day after tomorrow. When the poor was hungry, Jesus Christ fed them. He worked his magic, his spiritualism, whatever you all want to call it. And he turned one fish into plenty fish. He turned liquor into water to feed the poor, to quench the thirst of the poor. We are no Jesus Christ, but we heed the lessons of the Christ child. That when the poor raise their voices in frustration, some forsake them. Some deny them like Peter. Not Peter, Simon. That's Simon Peter. But some of us stood with them. I want to thank those who managed to find my numbers and to call me. Some women who called me and cried that they now understand. One woman said she's 50-something years old, but now she understands that when the poor and the powerless are looking around for people to cover them, they ran away. I will not run. Let them put it on the front page every day that David Hines stood with the scrapeheads, whatever you all call them. Whatever you all call them. I'm not calling them scrapehead, I know better. We stood with them. My party, we met this week, and they endorsed my stance. We stand with the poor and the powerless. You see, in the 1930s, for one full decade, from Bahamas and Jamaica in the north to Trinidad and Guyana in the south, the poor, what you all now call the scrapeheads, they came out of the ghettos onto the streets, and they marched and they marched. Some of them set plantations afire. They demonstrated. And the British was so alarmed that they sent a commission of inquiry to the West Indies. Why are these people marching? Why are they burning plantations? And the British Commission of Inquiry reported to the British that the people want freedom. They've been enslaved for 300 years and colonized for another 100 years, and they want to get out. They want freedom. They want independence. And that begun, those 1930s burnings begun the final push for what we call independence today. Out of those uprisings came the PPP and the PNC and the PNM and the JLP and the BLP and all the political parties in the Caribbean. When you open the textbooks today, they call them the 1930s riots. Class language. When rich people protest, they say rich people are making representation. When poor people protest, we call it riots, including some of our own black and brown scholars and politicians. when Walter Rodney wanted to teach African history at the University of the West Indies in 1968. The university said no. And he went onto the streets and he began to teach African history. He went into the ghettos with the scrapers and he was teaching African history. And the government became fearful and he left to go to a writers' conference in Montreal in October 1968. And when he returned, the Jamaican government banned him from entering. And the next day, the students at the university put on their gowns and they began to march downtown. And as they got to the four corners, they saw a crowd coming in the opposite direction. And so they stopped. They didn't know what it was. And when that crowd came, it was a crowd of ghetto youth, what you all call in today scrapers. And the scrapers and the students linked their hands together and marched downtown to protest the banning of a black man who wanted to teach black history in a 98% black country. Our friend Ralph Gonzalez was the head of the student guild, and he was leading the student march. By the way, Patrick Manning was in that march. And the police intervened and shot at them. 6 people were killed. And if you read the books today, they call it the Rodney riots. Riots. Rodney riots. That incident marked the formal beginning of the Caribbean Black Power movement, which merged and morphed and became the Caribbean Radical movement. You all hear me out tonight? In 1960, at a cricket match between England and the West Indies, the mother country and the colonizer, an Indo-Guyanese, Indo-Trinidad cricketer, his name was Charan Singh. He was given out by the umpire. And the crowd felt that he was cheated. And here were the old colonial masters cheating because we, the colonized, are now beating them at their game. And they invaded the ground and stopped the match. So Larry Constantine, who was our first superstar cricketer, came out and he condemned them and so on and so forth. And that match became known as a cricket riot. One man, C.L.R. James, stood by the people who stopped the cricket match. The scrapers, C.L.R. James, stood with the scrapers. He said they were making a blow for their freedom because they felt that they were cheated for 400 years. And here you are, cheating them again on the eve of independence. You open the books today, we'll talk about the cricket riot in Trinidad in 1968. Comrades, brothers and sisters, the word riot to describe the actions of poor people is not new. So when you heard it, this past week, the rioting, the mayhem, the robbery, the thuggery, we have heard it before. In this time, I rather stand with C.L.R. James I rather stand with Walter Rodney. I rather stand with the patriots of the 1930s and do not describe those actions as riots, but to describe them as the righteous uprising of the poor and powerless. Folk wisdom. Folk wisdom. Good evening, Buxton. Good night, Buxton. There was the man in Buxton. You come home every afternoon from Baghdam. And he milk a drink out. Every after he come out, a milk gone, a milk a drink out. Who drink out the milk? You don't know. He decided to blame the cat. Said the cat a drink out the milk. It never occurred to me it could be his son a drink out the milk. He picked them a drink out the milk. He said a cat. He decided to confront the cat. He called his wife. He said, "Gatas, close all windows, bolt all doors, chink all creases." And he picked up one wood. You go beat a cat now. And when you run for beat a cat will run all wrong. All wrong out, but the cat can't get away from go away. Remember, all doors are locked, all windows are closed, all creases are chinked. And when a cat not get none way for escape, a cat go up on his 2 foot and go for spring pan. And when he see a cat open his eye big and go for spring, he drop a stick. He said, "Gatas, open all windows, unbolt all doors, unchink all creases. After all, this a tiger family." When you lock up people, you chink all creases, you close all windows, you bolt all doors, and they have no way of escaping their torture. And what they go do? And what they go do? My brothers and sisters, that is what we saw this past week, culminating on Monday night. For 5 years and more, our people have been locked like that cat in a house with nowhere to escape, being chased around to be beaten. And on Monday night, they had enough. Like a cat, they go up on their 2 foot, open their eye, and ready to spring. The boxman had good sense. He unchinked the creases, opened the door, and opened the window. The PPP didn't unchink the creases. We've been telling them to do that all the time. They didn't open the door. And so the cat spring on them. You see, the boxman had sense. He said, "This is a tiger family." The PPP didn't get sense. Them people in this are human beings. Them a human family. Them a human family. This is not the first time in Guyana. This is not the first time in our Caribbean. This is not the first time in the world that people cornered, hit back at their oppressor. What is amazing is that in 2025, we understand the PPP. We understand them. But what is distressing is that our leaders, some of them, most of them, blame the people for the people's plight. And ran away, condemn them, hooligans, looters, robbers, thieves, destroyers of roads, destroyers of, this is not the PPP. When the PPP is saying that, they're wrong, and we know, but we expect them to say that. We didn't expect our people to say that, our leaders. Today, we watch as the PPP, armed with the endorsement of black leaders, opposition leaders, have rounded up hundreds of young black men. I saw a video where they tie them with their hand behind the back of Caguana. Rounded them up for terrorism. Since when robbing a supermarket, blocking a road is terrorism? And our black leaders and leaders of the opposition gave the PPP permission to do that. By God, that's what they did. They throw them, as you all say, under the bus. They gave the PPP permission to round up those boys, some of them as young as 15 and 16. The police, which covered up Adriana murder, the police which killed Fajine and Ronaldo, the police which have killed over 400 young black men under this PPP, that very police, our leaders have given permission to round up young black men under the name of terrorism. When they open their mouth, I hope they choke. When they open their mouth to talk about how the police this and the police that and the police this, I hope they choke. Because they have given the police permission. The police who just killed Fajine, just killed Ronaldo, who just cover up the killing of Adriana. You have now given permission to round up and to kill, because they are going to, before the end of this thing, kill a couple of those guys. To kill young black men under the name that they loot. What kind of fool are you all? Sisters and brothers, when you all bust off these leaders, I am understanding why. How can they be so two-faced? The very police that they are demonizing, correctly so, for killing those two men at Linden, for covering up Adriana's murder. This very police, they have given permission to round up Adriana's brothers and sisters and fathers and uncles, and yet they want justice for Adriana. And what Adriana wouldn't do, and would Adriana have agreed to rounding up 200, 300 young black men as terrorists in her name? What kind of fools are you? But that is the weakness of black leadership. And the PPP has always taken advantage of it. The weakness, the softness, the self-interestedness of black middle-class leadership. They don't care beyond the surface. I didn't wake up and say, David, you must not condemn. I saw what that condemnation would lead to. And I said, David Hines, you're not putting your name to that. You're not putting your party name to that. Jadio, week after week, saying that David Hines and Vincent Alexander in particular don't want young black people to get rich. Are you all hear him saying that? And that his party wants them to make money to get rich. And David Hines and Vincent Alexander want them to remain poor. You all remember? I don't have a research assistant because when that thing come to me an hour ago, I needed like a research assistant to go and research it and pull up the things to make him play it, but it's me alone. But if I had a research assistant to go and play what Jack Dio said, but you all know that he said that. He want young black people to get rich, to make money. And me, David Hines and Vincent Alexander, don't want them to get rich and make money. He's telling them, come to the PPP. They go in the black community, the PPP, and they look for young black men who may have a jail record. And they call them and say, come by. We're going to give you a contract for $2 million in exchange for you not going to jail. Don't worry, David Hines and them. We want you to make money. Monday night, when those same black men, young black men that Jack Joe want to make money by crooked means, when they decided to go and rob supermarkets and rob businesses to make money, Jack Dio turned on them. You encourage them to make money by all costs, and now they're making money by all costs. You turn against them. You all hear me say from the first night, I didn't send looters there. I know who sent looters there. I know we're socializing looters. It's the PPP that is socializing looters. Some of them have on suit and tie. Some of them are in the communities, the scrapers. They go to them and they tell them, make money at all costs. Ravi Dev sat there, I played it on this program and said, don't mind the intention of the PPP. It's what they do. They're telling you, make money at all costs. And now, when these young men are making money at all costs, you call them looters and thieves, and you get the black leadership behind you, saying, go, Jack Dio, go. Yes, we are with you. We are not with looters. We are not with robbers. You can't rob people's family. That is against Adriana and all manner of things. Go, Jack Dio, go. And Jack Dio and the PPP are now pulling in young black men and turning them into terrorists. Where is the black middle class? Are you behind Jack Dio, telling him, don't do that? When the record is written, let it be known, David Hines and the Working People's Alliance refuse to. Sometimes in life we have to tell it as it is. We, black people, poor people, we are also the victims of crime. We are also the victims of looting. We are victims of looting twice. We are victims of those who loot the national treasury and take our teachers' money take our nurses' money. The WPA promised $1 million from the oil fund. They give you all 100,000. They owe you all 900,000. Takumo Gonse reminded me of that yesterday to tell you all that. We calculated that it's 1 million that you all should get. They give you all 100,000. And we are saying that you all are owed 900,000. And if we have anything to do with government, within a short time, you all will get the 900,000. Not just by a handout, but by law. Because we care about the poor. Not as numbers, not as statistic, but as human beings with souls. They're rounding up young black men. Some of them a little older than Adriana. Tying them up like guana. Kicking them. Abusing them as terrorists. With the endorsement of our middle class black leaders. I'm yet to hear them condemn. I'm yet to hear those middle class men and women and leaders condemn what is happening to their children right now. And this is not being done by somebody from outer space. It's been done by the very police that we are condemning for what happened to Adriana. And while they have us condemning looting and condemning robbery, they are busy doing two things. They are busy getting rid of the evidence on what happened to Adriana. A week from now or 2 weeks from now, they're going to say we are ready for an investigation. We are ready. Y'all can bring in international this and international that. And when the international investigators come, the evidence gone. Because while our leaders are out there running their mouth about scrapers and looting, the people rubbing out the evidence. You see, the lesson we have to learn is that when we are making demands, we have to be careful. Justice is not a small thing. Justice is not a minimalist thing. Justice is big. And justice must include, justice for Adriana must include a fair postmortem. It must include protection of all the evidence. It must include the removal of people who are barricading us from getting to the evidence, hence the commissioner and command and so on. It must be a menu of things. When you call for the removal of the police commissioner, they're going to remove it. And once you see the evidence done rub out, they're going to remove Ikin, and Ikin will be glad to go. He overstayed time anyway. He going to get a big pension, and he can. And they're going to put someone who is worse than Ikin there. And then they're going to say, but that's what all you asked for. Some of us bank our thing on the postmortem. Postmortem can't bring back dead, all you know that. Postmortem will merely tell you the cause of death. It will not tell you the circumstances of death. It won't bring back the dead. But some of us banked our justice just on the postmortem. No. Justice must be banked on everything. And we have to learn that lesson. We are quick for call for this body resign and that body resign, and we don't call for real justice. Ultimately, justice for Adriana and justice for Fortuné. And I'm coming to Fortuné just now. And justice for Ronaldo. And justice for Peter Edley. And justice for the Golden Grove boy. And justice for the boy from Dartmouth. And justice for all the boys and girls. Justice for Waddle. Justice for Crummy Wing. That justice will only come when we have a government that is prepared to stand on the side of justice. And we in the opposition, our leaders are picking and choosing what is justice. And we have to ask the questions, when we entrust them with power, are they going to go for justice? Remember, Crummy Wing was murdered under the PPP as they were leaving office. And we had a government there for 5 years, and they didn't solve Crummy Wing crime. They didn't bring the murders to book. Sometimes I have to say some unpleasant things. So I am not surprised, totally, to hear them giving the PPP permission to round up hundreds of young black boys as terrorists. I hope you all are taking note of what's going on, because some of y'all just quick, oh, this leader don't smile. So you all decide on leadership by beauty contest. And this leader, you don't talk to that leader. So you all decided leader and who does talk to who. And this leader don't lift and smile with babies. And this leader does drink at this rum shop and instead of that rum shop. We get into that nonsense. I hope you all are understanding what true leadership is. I hope, yes, Andrea, God, yes, you all taking notes. I hope you all understanding what true leadership is. True leadership is when our people are facing the firing squad. Are our leaders there with them? That is the test of leadership. Or are they saving their political skin? I could have said, oh, I frighten Indians, call me racist. I want us to win some Indian votes. So I am going to condemn looting and thieving on Monday night and this and that. No. Because I know that my sons could be, my nephews could be in that group that they're rounding up. That the children of people I went to school with could be in that group they're rounding up. And so it's not about me. It's that one has to go beyond self-interest if you're a leader. And I hope you all are taking notes. And to see who is standing with you. This is not a beauty contest. Let me come to Fortuné. As you all notice, they charge the police who killed Ronaldo, and they quietly pass it through court. I was trying to figure out this afternoon whether he up on bail or he ended up on bail, but they pass him through court. You all realize that nobody can get charged for Fortuné murder. And I guess Fortuné murder is an easier murder to prove. Because he there, he stand up watching her and they shoot him. But yet, we have not seen anybody charged for that crime. What the RSS say? about Fajini? We don't know. It's now going on to 3 weeks to a month after Fajini was killed. And no. And you see what happened? All our attention is now on the young lady story. And we forget about Fajini. And the people be laughing. Haka, you see them? Them black fool, we know them. They not pay attention. They just scatter. I hope you all realize Fajini, nobody has been charged with Fajini murder. And Fajini murder is even more straightforward than Ronaldo murder. I hope you all are watching. Why is no one yet charged for Ken Fajini's murder? Why? You all tell me. I said what I said about the acid that they throw on those little East Indian children. And the president went there and do a photo op. And I bet you all going to see them photo up on PPP advertisement for election. I noticed Sister Manzo went there and she visited. Thank you, Sister Manzo, for going. But Sister Manzo, one by get shoot in the eye, a Mackenzie Linden. When by get shoot, you see him with a big patch. He shut up his place and the police shoot him in the eye. Amanza, you been there yet? Well, maybe you're on your way there. You see what I am talking about? Our black leaders cannot be opportunistic. There's no big story among this boy who get shoot in the eye and then because you're one black man. You're wrong to throw acid on them East Indian children. You're wrong. But you're also wrong to shoot that black boy from Linden in the eye. And if Mr. President and Madam Amanza doing their political visit, are you go at Linden and visit the boy too? I love Amanza, as you all know. I defend Amanza to the but Sister Manza, don't fall in to the trap. Do not do that. I am still waiting on them for catch the two by who throw acid on them picnic. I'm waiting on them. They get them two by this picture, but they can't bring them before a court yet. What is taking them so long? They round up over 200, going on to 300 little black boy for thieving and robbing. But two who throw acid on them little picnic, they don't round them up yet. They're more in the matter than the pistol. Andrea, you're right. Black people are always trying to appease. Ali go quick. Amanza go quick. Only Indian lives matter. Black lives don't matter too. Amanza. A boy will get shoot in the eye. A Mackenzie, where you come from. He life don't matter too. Amanza, if you're paying visit, you get plenty visit to pay, you know. You get over 400 black men who were slaughtered and killed. You get 400 family to go and visit. Amanza, them picnic who they throw acid and throw where they throw upon them in a school bus and a Barbies where you come from. You got to go and visit them family there too, you know. Amanza, you are playing a dangerous politics. And I'm saying this publicly to you because I love you. You're playing a dangerous politics. I'm not saying that you mustn't go and visit the family. That's not what I'm saying. But decide if you're going to do a tour of the sufferers, a tour on the victims of sufferation. You got to start back 20 years, Amanza. All them 400. Some people say 1,300. Some people say 1,400. Jack Dio said 200. You got a long tour to do. And by the way, Amanza, step in at Kwame Wing family. Stop in at Ronald Waddle family. You got plenty family to stop in at. Victims of the living and the dead. Abaya Mackenzie wait pan ayo. You and Ali for visit him. A police shoot him in the eye. He wasn't looting. He was taking care of his private house and the police shoot him in the eye. And the looting and shooting, what you all talk about on Monday night, sorry. And you forget that Monday afternoon, the police went into that crowd in front of the hospital and shoot at those people, Amanza. Shoot them. Shoot at them. Them a catch bullet, them a duck, them a thing, about get a shield. And 2 hours later, people respond to that shooting, and you forget about that shooting. And you all take them people action. And you all isolated from what happened just 2 hours before. Oh my God, man. Oh, them black people that fall from coconut tree. Amanza. Those are little black souls too. Good and conscientious political people. They take everything into consideration before they move. That's what I'm doing. I understand the looting. I understand the robbery. I don't agree with them. Because, as I said, they'll start by looting other people and then they'll stomp on their own. So but that is beside the point. Whether I agree or disagree with looting is beside the point. I cannot control looting. Looting and shooting comes out of something larger that we as political people must try to understand. Jack Joe encouraged that looting. I see GHK, God bless him. He said the so-called rioting on Monday night was PPP rioting. Jack Joe sit down there and encourage our young people to be reckless. He encouraged them that they must make money. Ravi Dev said they mustn't care whether PPP wants smart them, just make money. And what do you think the looting and shooting is about? Making money at all costs. The PPP has socialized young black people, men and women, to become looters and robbers. And you all are asking me, David Hines, to take ownership of it. You're asking Nigel Hughes to take ownership of it. You're asking Terence Campbell and Aubrey Norton to take ownership of it. When you, Jack New, socialize them to be looters and robbers. And Nigel and Terence and them fall for the bait. They fall for the bait. Jack just sit down there week after week, inciting black people to become thieves. And telling them don't bother with David Hines. Don't bother with Vincent Alexander. And you come over to the PPP and become thugs and thieves. Make money. They are the ones who have socialized black people in this recent the last couple of decades. And then having done that, when the people indeed loot and rob, you're trying to say, David Hines, you must talk to them. You must condemn them. Go to France. I am not condemning them. What they did is not right. But the origins of that wrongness ain't got nothing to do with them in an essentialized way. It got nothing to do with them as young black men. It has to do with how you all, the PPP, have socialized them. I've told them you all are poor because your leaders don't want you all to be rich. You all are poor because your foreparents plant cassava and Edo instead of planting rice. The PPP has been saying that. Jack Dio and company have been saying that. And you all are encouraging them not to make money by planting Edo and cassava, not to make money by going to school, but to make money by looting and robbing. Well, no, they're looting and robbing. They're looting and robbing now. But you see, we have to make a distinction. There is the broad population in Guyana, outside of Guyana, mostly African, but also Amerindians and East Indians, middle class, upper class. There is the nation that is scandalized by the murder of this child. And it triggered something in them. And they've poured out into the open. Then there are the subset of that large group who are the militants, who are the ones who are saying that we have to put an end to this, not just by praying, not just by crying, not just by calling for justice, but by hurting the state, which has been hurting them. And the road represents the state. The road don't belong to me and you individually, it belongs to the state. It's a symbol of the state. So when those people go on the road and they put their tires there and they burn it on the road, they're speaking to the state. They're speaking to the state. How many of you, somebody wrong you and you want to punch them, but you can't punch them, so you punch the wall? How many of you, your man wrong you and you can't punch him, but you can break his windshield, his car windshield? You can lose out the air from his car because you know that he loves that car more than you. And so you're going at the car. It's not just going at the car, you're getting at him through his car. So when people go on the road, they're not watching a road and say, I rode, me want to block you up. People are not stupid. They know what the road symbolizes. That is why the Bard, 1963, Lord Kitchener, the road make to walk on Carnival Day. Constable, I don't want to, but I have to say, any steel band man venture to cross my path is a long funeral from the Royal Hospital. Those words are pregnant with what I am talking about. Those people and hooligans and non-humans. Only non-humans will wake up and say, I rode, you wrong me go block you up, me go burn you. But they think that our young people are stupid, so they think that's what it is. And what they vex with me for is that I am attempting and doing more than attempting to give meaning to what our young people are doing. To take their experiences, in the words of A.U.C. Kwayana, refine them and give it back to them as social and political nourishment. So there's that subset. What I call the soldiers. You have the larger population, which is all of us who came out and prayed and cried. And then you have the soldiers who are taking our tears, our cries and our prayers, and it's saying something to the oppressor. And then you have the third group, who are the young people who see themselves as outside of the rest of us. Who see themselves, you're calling them scrapers. In the old days, they call them ghetto boys, ghetto youth. The Marxists call them lumpen proletariat. These are young people who we have cast aside. Abay awang bad egg. Abay awang bad bay. Abay shame the family. And in a certain sense, these are young people who feel that we have abandoned them. And they have to exist on the seams, on the edges of society. But they have their own consciousness. And when a moment like this arises, they take their own advantage of it. Those are the ones we are calling the looters and the thief men and robbery and so on. So we have to see what is happening at different levels. The larger level of those of us who are outraged by what's happening in the society. And that what this young girl's killing has done is that has stirred our belly. And we have come out in our numbers tonight. I think they are in Atlanta, they're this way, they're that way. It is not an accident. PNC and WPA and AFC and they're doing that. Even Jack Dio, Wednesday, he said, well, the majority of people, they're organized by the PNC. He know better. Because he said to say the PNC can't organize nobody. But all of a sudden, when thousands of people are taken to the street, he can only say it's the PNC. And then next week, he going to say it's the WPA who organize the scrapers. At one level, we can't organize nobody. But when people come out on the road and in their faces, they have to put our fingers on it. Even he said, the vast majority of people are not thugs and rioters and looters. He said there are people who are organized by the PNC and are given direction on what to do. Even he said, but our black leaders can't do that analysis and said, look, this thing, when me first year in university doing political science, the teacher with levels of analysis. Levels. But these groups are linked. They have one thing in common. They are responding to what they see and feel around them. The large group is using the tool of prayer, the tool of tears, the tool of placing their bodies out there for all to see. They're using the tool of reason, of persuasion. And they too have candles. They too have their lights. And where they don't have candles, they have their lighters. Light up your lighter. There too, there is something about the fire. The fire. Fire don't mean destruction. You got church, them a light candle fire. All them church. Me as a little altar boy, you light candle. Are you a terrorist? Then they're the soldiers. The soldiers who are saying, we are taking your tears, we are taking your cries, we are taking your prayers, and we are doing something practical. We are using it to send a message to the state and the government. We are getting their attention. And then you have the category of those that we have cast aside and society has cast aside and the government has cast aside and the state has cast aside and that the government and the state are taking advantage of. You have them, and they too are getting into the action. They're using the tools, their smarts, and their capacity to rob and steal and so on. We have to make sense and don't allow the PPP to define us. The PPP is trying to define us and to define our actions. But we have enough people we send to school to define us in our image. Marcus Garvey was plain. Said God made man in his own image, and when I look through that mirror, I see a black man looking back at me, and so God has to be black. All he's doing is taking the Christian Bible and blackening it. He's taking the Christian story and telling it through the lens of blackness. Comrades, you all have to understand what's happening. The first thing they did to that child, I hear also many people tell me Adriana this and what Adriana would have done. Look, the family, let me make it clear. The family has license to say anything. So me and, this is not about the father who called him for peace. The father and the mother and the family, they get a right to say anything. So I'm not talking to them. You feel it, know it. They have a right to say anything. I'm talking with the rest of yap, salt and pepper mouth people. Who know what Adriana would have done and old Adriana. Maybe even before they killed that child, they put that child into the category of the black female, the black reckless female, the black female who's a whore, who's a slut. Because that first story they conquer, I don't care who, whether man sit down behind computer or who, I don't care who come up with the story. The state quickly ran with the story. And the story is an 11-year-old black girl run away from her parents with a man in a car. Isn't that familiar to you all black women and black people? Isn't that story familiar? And all the middle class sit down and pretending that they don't know. They're talking all kind of language in which, even before that child was killed, they paint her as a whore, an 11-year-old child. And that is how they see black femalehood, black womanhood. And you all are sitting down there and pretending that you all don't know that. See, that is why they want to ban me from politics. If that was a little Indian child, they would have come up with some other story to cover up. But not the story of a little 11-year-old girl being a whore. I'm tired of what they do to black people. And you all black people sit down and you all take it. Because you all want to be decent. your child. The first story you come up with is that she's a slut. And nobody's saying it. Nobody's saying it. I am saying it here tonight. Loud and clear. You're covering up. You gotta come up with a story. You could have said the girl do any other thing. You could have said she gone for thief dongs next door. You could have said she just want to go and walk. But no, she go in a car with a big man. That's what they do to black women all the time. That's what they think of us. That's what they think of even some of you who going to them. That's what they think of you. I noticed they making nice. Oh, black man say, oh, they sacrifice the girl. I you big people know them. I will not call them sacrifice. You know, them swap the girl. And me notice some of them say, oh, we desecrating Hinduism and so on. They forget that when our women go on the road during Janet Jagan time, and they go with the lime and the salt, and they're doing the thing, they curse them and say they're witchcraft. So it's okay to denigrate black spiritualism and black religion. But when black people do the same thing to Indian religion, black people wrong. I will never allow you all to get away with forgetting history. That I'm not a trained historian. I'm a political historian. And so I have the tools of how to analyze history. I will never let them forget it. When I denounce black man with the salt and doing the story and walking, eh? Them a obia woman, them a this, them a that. But when they're charging Indians with doing the same thing, they're demons. The double standards in this society, the racial and class double standards are palpable. And they get away with it because we black people tend to want to be nice. If black man say, are you swap a picnic? Are you sacrifice a picnic? They're not saying that because they read some scroll somewhere in some vault. They're saying that because they lived in Guyana and they know what they're saying. And if you think they're wrong, prove them wrong. Let all the evidence come out. Let all the evidence come out. Let me know if I swap them, swap a picnic. If I rape, they rape a picnic. What are their motives for killing that child? It must be a dirty motive that they're busy covering it up. But the one thing they say, a picnic whore. She left she granny and gone in car with a big 11-year-old child. That is the one story they've put out there. If I say the picnic and I swap, they swap them. No kill, they kill them. No rape, they rape them. Well, let us do an impartial investigation and tell me how are you doing with a picnic. Sisters and brothers, this is the time for us to speak up. We who call ourselves leaders cannot be weak. We cannot do politics as usual. I love my brother politicians. I love them. I think they mean well. But they're too hooked on politics and not hooked on humanism. They allow politics to supersede humanism. I'm not condemning Amanza for going and visit with the Indian family. No, I'm not. She's right. But I'm saying, Amanza, if you want to go down that road, it's a long road. You got to go and visit 400 families and more. Go up to Linden and visit with a boy who can shoot a yai. Amanza, if you're going down that road, it can be a one-sided road. Or else we got to call you out for opportunism. We are moving forward. Thank you all. On behalf of the Working People's Alliance, thank you, Guyana. Wherever you are in Barbados, in Trinidad, Suriname, French Guyana, Atlanta, Georgia, in Maryland, in New Jersey, in London, England, and beyond, St. Martin, all over the world, from Uptown to Belladrum to Maiconi, from Maiconi to Golden Grove, to Buxton, to the city of Georgetown, south, north, east, and west to Brooklyn. To those of you on the west side from Good Intent, right through Denhamstel, right through to Tushen and Perica. To those of you across the Nesicoma River, to Dartmouth and beyond. On behalf of my party, I say thank you. Thank you. They've already started pressuring our people to recant statements that they give on what they saw. Because the post-mortem, as far as they're concerned, closes the matter. She's not dead from drowning, so she's not dead. She's not dead from drowning, so she's not dead. She wasn't murdered. No foul play. Black man, you move on. Black man, you move on. That's what they're telling us. Thank you all, people. Thank you all, black people. Thank you all, Indian people. Thank you all. Thank you all. Thank you all, Amerindians who have stood with us. Because when they were scandalizing, when they were abusing your little girls, we black people stood with you all. Thank you, Amerindians. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, school children. Thank you, New Amsterdam. You didn't just walk and you didn't just pray and sing and dance. You marched through the streets of New Amsterdam. Thank you all. Thank you all. We stand firm with you all. As political parties, we sometimes have to be led. And at this time, we are being led by the masses of people of Guyana. They're telling us something. And we politicians sometimes, if we have nothing to say, if you can't lift those people up, shut up, shut up. If you can't lift your people, shut up. Don't make yourself fools going on and condemning this. Are you born to be condemners? Do you hear Indians condemn? Abai rape a picnic. Everybody know you rape a picnic. Did you hear them coming out and condemning him? I am not saying that we must uphold wrong. We should never uphold wrong. But we must not throw the picnic out with the bathwater. We cannot let the acts, the wrong, become a substitute for the right and the righteousness. I want to put 10 more headlines. David Hines stands with the scrapers wherever you all call them, they're not scrapers to me. To me, they're soldiers. And they're leading the revolution in this time. Some of them did some wrong things, but they don't represent the majority. They are our children too. How do we feel to see them tie them up like guano, tie them up and calling them terrorists and we passing through court? Those of us who condemn them and say thieving wrong and looting wrong, how do we feel today? What our words have contributed to? How do we feel? There are other ways of rebuking your own. There are other ways of rebuking your own. You don't throw them over to the monsters. You don't put the whip in the PPP hand and say, here is a car gauge endorsement to go do what you need to do to them. Because the day our people said, we are not in, we are against blocking road, and we condemn the looting and the shooting, as if the looting and the shooting was what characterized what happened that night, looting and thieving. The minute we do that, we automatically tell them, take away picnic them and do what you want. Do what you want with me. That is what we did, our leaders. And I'm so glad that some of us took a stance. I speak not just for myself, I speak for my party, the Working People's Alliance. And I speak for all those of you who subscribe to our politics. All those of you in the society who understand our politics. It's not a politics of cowardice. It's not a politics of compromise. It's not a politics of selling out. It is not a politics of throwing our people under the bus. It's a politics of righteousness. It's a politics of solidarity. It's a politics of protection. It's a politics of family first. And for those of you who agree with our politics, you don't have to sign up a card to join our party. But stand with us. Stand with us as we stand with you. We're not even telling you to leave your party. Some of you all may be PNC, but you can be PNC and still be with the party of the sufferers. And I'm declaring that tonight. We in the WPS, we are the party of the sufferers. We are the party of the sufferers. I stand behind you here tonight as a middle class. Education has made me a middle class. So I'm not sitting there and say I am a scrapehead and I am working class and all that thing. I am from the middle class. Thanks to education, I've been able to migrate into the so-called middle class. But I am a middle class activist with a long memory. I come from the nigger yard of yesterday, leaping from the oppressor's hate and the scorn of myself. I turn to the histories of men and the lives of the people. I examine the shower of sparks. I come from the nigger yard of yesterday, and to the world of tomorrow, I turn with my strength. The strength that I got from the working class, from the poor class of people, the sufferers in the society, the poor and the powerless, as Clive Thomas would call them. So I am a middle class, but I'm a middle class that has not cut my roots out from my existence. My roots remain where they are. I come from the nigger yard of yesterday, leaping from my oppressor's hate and the scorn of myself. I want them to know that. So I do not stand alone. There are others with me in my own party and outside of my party. I thank you, so many of you who have hunted my numbers down and got in touch with me, who have cried, who have thanked me. I'm humbled, but this work is not my work alone. I'm merely a vessel of this time to see our people out of Babylon. Babylon's system is a vampire, sucking the blood of the sufferers. Not me, Robert Nesta Marley. Deceiving the people day by day. I am with the sufferers. You all can call them scrapers. You all can call them this. They can call themselves scrapers. I am giving a generic term, the sufferers. And no one can turn my face away. No one can turn my conscience away. I stand with the sufferers. Chronicle, Guyana Times, I know you're all listening. Do a headline tomorrow now. Put it up on your front page tomorrow. Dr. Hines reiterates his support for scrapers. Education, eh? And my luck to be exposed to it may have saved me from being a scraper, and may have saved all of us here, so many of us here, from being scrapers. To all my brothers in the bush who are braving the elements to help to put food on the table for your families. So many of you who look at us every night, and so many of you who send me voice notes. I don't always get to reply to you individually. I'm saying tonight, thank you. Thank you for believing in you. You know, only last week, they were saying black people were running back into the plantation. Black people are running to the PPP. That's been running back in the plantation. Yeah. They're not worrying with David Hines and all of them. And they're running back to the plantation. Today, those same people that they were saying running back to the plantation, they're calling them terrorists. So if you want to go and sell your soul to them, it's okay. When you decide you ain't selling your soul, you're a terrorist. We've got work to do. We have to witness for Sister Selwyn. Scrapers are people who are scraping to get by, sometimes a mentality, and I agree with you. But that mentality is not essential in the sense that that mentality starts in the head. That mentality is linked to something larger than them. That mentality is linked to you and to link to me, Selwyn. Mentality as mentality is different from mentality as part of something larger than that individual mentality. Mankind shapes its surroundings, even as the surroundings shape mankind. Selwyn, you're a school boy. You know that. You know that. You know that. Mankind shapes reality as reality shapes mankind. The Marxists call it dialectics. Selwyn, you're a school boy. You know that. So don't say mentality and left arm so. Do not say mentality and left it as though there is something innate about the scrapers. There's nothing innate about them. God bless us all. God bless us all. We're going to get what we're fighting for. We're going to get what we're fighting for. God not sleep. God not sleep. Love.